Let's talk about one of the most commonly used event types in BPMN, the message event. You can recognize it by the envelope icon inside the event symbol. But what exactly does it represent? A message event is used whenever information is exchanged between different participants, typically between a process and an external party. There are both incoming and outgoing message events. For example, if a customer sends you an order and you send back a confirmation message, both interactions can be modeled with message events. And it doesn't matter what is being communicated. It could be an email, a document, a payment, or even a physical package. As long as one party sends something to another party, it qualifies as a message in BPMN terms. So to summarize, if your process involves any kind of external communication or exchange, message events are the right tool to use. Now, BPMN defines not just one, but 4 types of message events. They differ in timing and direction, whether they are incoming or outgoing, and when they occur in the process. Let's briefly go through each one. First, the start message event. It is used to begin a process when a message is received. For example, your process starts only after receiving a purchase order from a customer. This event type has a thin border and the usual message icon. It's perfect when your process is triggered by an external input. Next, the catching intermediate message event. It is placed during the process waiting to receive a message. So this event defines a waiting point in the process. It pauses the process until a specific message finally arrives. For example, imagine waiting for a customer's payment before continuing shipping an item. This event catches the incoming message and resumes the process. Next, we have the throwing intermediate message event. It is also placed during the process, but this type of event sends a message. For instance, to confirming an order, the system sends a notification. And it also does the wait at this point. It just throws the message and moves on to the next element in the process. And finally, the end message event. This type of event is used when the final step of the process involves sending a message, like sending a final confirmation mail at the end of an ordering process. It also has a thick border to show that it ends the process. So as you can see, these 4 types let you model message exchanges very precisely. Whether you start a process, wait for a response, send a notification, or finish a process with a message. Now, let's walk through an example together and see how all 4 types of message events are used in a real-world scenario. This is the order process of our fashion online shop. The process starts with a placed order as start message event. This means the process begins only after the customer has submitted an order. Next, the shop reserves the item in the warehouse and creates an invoice. After that, we send the invoice to the customer. By that, we use a throwing intermediate message event after the activity to send the invoice to the customer. This represents an outgoing message because the shop actively sends information. Then we wait for the payment by using the catching intermediate message event. The process now pauses and waits until the customer completes the payment. This is an incoming message because the shop is waiting to receive something. Once the payment is received, we ship the item. The item is packaged and handed over to the delivery service. And finally, the process ends with an end message event, labeled "Item has been shipped." This means the shop sends a final outgoing message to the customer, confirming that the product is on its way. So to summarize, we start with a message from the customer, send a message back, the invoice, wait for the response, the payment, and at the end, we're sending one last message, the shipping confirmation. So, this simple example shows clearly how all 4 message event types can be used to model communication between a process and an external participant. If you enjoyed this video and want to become truly confident in process modeling, check out my complete BPMN Masterclass on Udemy. The link is in the description below.